Hi, and welcome to another edition of Camille's Corner. My name is Bridget, and today we're going to talk about hair chronicles. And it's not going to be broad because that's like almost information overload because of so much, that goes into our hair and so much that our history, um, meaning our African American history, with hair and tribal um, ways of wearing hair and what the meaning was and stuff and the origination of things. So mine is going to be simple. It's just going to be about Bridget's Chronicles. And I felt the need to do this because I switch up a lot. So don't be alarmed or, about, okay, she looks different this time or she's wearing different hair today or yeah, that's me. I've done several other videos talking a little bit about myself. And so you should have a, pretty good insight about some things about me. But this one in particular, I thought felt the need to share because I do wear uh, wigs and weaves. And most times I get them from Amazon, and a lot of times I'll put the information in the bio or the comment section to to give you a direct link to where to get them if you happen to like them like I do. And so I definitely try to do that. But I also wanted to talk about it as well. For me, it's a little different. And I may be some people out there that actually feel like I do. I don't know, but I wanted to share my chronicles with you. So we're going to start with okay, I was watching another lady's her podcast, right? And it was pretty interesting. It She polled men from California and DC, and let's see. So she was able to do that. I would like to do that at some point in my life. I mean, I do want to be in a setting where I could ask different types of men um, their preference as far as women's hair because I thought it was interesting. But I wanted to share this before I get into my personal journey. The um, the podcast I watch is I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's spelled Beige and then Ojai. Okay, Beige Ojai. I think that's her name. So she did a two-part. So, hey, I'm all about empowering other women too. So if she had her own podcast or whatever, I hit the like button on hers as well. So I got the information from her. So I don't like to, plagiarize or whatever you call it when you give some information that someone else had researched. So for sure, I wanted her to get her shout out, so to speak. So what she did was she asked, I think it was like 14 men, 14 men in California and NYC if they like natural hair or weaves. And the answers were astoundingly towards the natural hair end. And out of the 14, let's see, it was 10 for natural and 4 for I don't care, doesn't matter. And none for the weaves and wigs. And, it got me to thinking. I was like, okay, well, let me pose this out there and just, I figure because I've been in relationships where they were very vocal about wearing my natural hair. And okay, so this part is going to get to, my journey. So here's the thing. I grew up with a head full of hair. It was my own hair and it was long. And around like high school time and middle school, my hair was like down my back. It was full. It was beautiful, but it was relaxed. It was relaxed hair. I remember my auntie, she started off doing our relaxers. And then when we got a little older, then my mom started taking us to a beautician so that we can get our hair relaxed and then put into a style, you know. And so that was our thing back then. And so it wasn't until probably about when I was around 20, maybe, that I noticed that the top of my hair right in here was thinning. And mind you, I have my grandparent, which is my grandmom on my mom's side, my maternal grandmother. She had very thin hair. And my maternal great aunt, which would be her sister, she had very thinning hair, just very thin. And my auntie, which is my mom's sister, she had really thin hair. So I knew that it was in the family to have thin hair. And I kind of felt like, okay, well, I guess it's going to be my turn. You know, I didn't know. But I had got this wild and crazy idea that once I became grown, that I was going to cut all my hair off. Mind you, I had hair down my back, my own hair. And I'll probably, you know, post some pictures and let you see how my hair actually looked. And I may break in between takes and throw a picture in there so you can see how I looked when I had all my hair. And so, of course, like anybody else, when you get grown, you feel like you want to do what you want to do. So I cut all my hair off, and I could notice, because it was a low afro, so to speak, and it's right there in the top, and it was just like I can see, you know, I can my scalp a little bit, and then um, I went to church one day, and I went with my mom, and it was probably a summer day, but we were leaving the church and about to get into our vehicles to leave. And she looked down and she was like, Bridget, I can see your scalp, you know? And my mom and family, they're very vain, no shade, but I'm just being honest. And so that was looked upon as a bad thing. So that's the way I took it. So of course, then I started getting into putting tracks in my hair. I would learn how to, I guess it's called quick weave. I would like push my hair back and then, you know, put the tracks with the glue on it. And I could do that pretty good. And so I did that for a little while. And then, of course, like I said, in the relationships that I've been in, they would prefer me to have my hair. But as the years go went on, you know, the thinning, you know, just kind of like kept coming. And I was like, oh, what can I do to slow this process down? So I tried to go back to it being relaxed and putting tracks in, because that's what my mom did, you know, just to make it a little fuller. So it's not like a whole head of weave. It's just a couple of tracks to fill in to make it look full and look like your regular hair. And so when I stopped doing that, I was like, okay, I need to start concentrating more on the health of my hair and leave it alone. So then I went to getting it sewn in. And so then I started, well, no, I did start with wigs first, but they were like synthetic wigs. I really wasn't really putting much money in the wigs. And they had like a little cute little style, and I would wear them, you know. And then after that, you know, I went back to the natural hair. And at one time, it didn't have any type of chemicals in it. At one time, it was, because when I say, well, most people, when they say natural, it means the natural way it comes out of your head without any type of chemical manipulation to it. And it was a time when I did do that. And so I can say that I was natural at one point. But I later on decided to put color in it. So I don't know if you would consider that still to be natural, but I didn't have a relaxer, but I did put color in it. And I like to change up my styles. So it's like, okay, I can't keep my hands out of my head. And I constantly like to change. I like to change the hair color. I like to change the length. I like to change everything. That's just me. I'm a Gemini, so I really like to switch things up. So, but anyways, I went to work and I was wearing my natural hair with no chemical manipulation. And my supervisor came up to me and said, "I don't like your hair." And I wanted to say, "I didn't ask you if you did." And I didn't care that you did. I didn't ask you. So I really don't care how you think or feel about it. But I couldn't say that to him. However, it did hurt my feelings. And I thought, I don't think the corporate world is ready for me, or that type of me, that version of me. So I started wearing the wigs, like I said, and I would get some that I wouldn't really put much money into, but it would look, I would think, presentable and acceptable, around the office. So I started doing that for a little while, but then I started getting into more of the uh, better quality of hair. So I started to do the sew-in. So I thought, okay, well, I can do sew-in. So what that means, for the ones who don't know, they would braid my natural hair down and then sew the weave into the braid, and therefore it would have a style, and it would be similar to this. It would look, but then of course the part would be different, because I would never have any leave out because I didn't have enough hair, I felt, to cover the tracks. So I never did a leave out with my own hair. So that meant the whole entire head was filled with tracks and weave. And then I had to sort of makeshift a part. So I did that for a while, and I got into the quality of the hair that I was purchasing, and it was, I was like, okay, I think I found my groove. I really do. So I did that for several years. I mean, a lot of years, right? And so over the years, I noticed that my hair underneath, my actual real hair, it was on the edges coming out. Like you know, especially on my right side. I don't know why specifically my right side, but I knew that the top was thinning, but then now I'm having some on my edges. And I kept thinking, why are my edges beginning to be so thin when I'm not, I didn't think that I was anyway, putting any type of pressure on it. So um, after a while, after years, we're talking probably about 20. Not really wanting to tell my age too much, but I think that just about sums it up. I wore that about maybe 15 to 18 years. And then I noticed my edges were, like I said, getting thinner. And so all of a sudden, not too long ago, very, very recent, started to wear just wigs. And decided to do that because I felt like whenever they were braiding my hair to put the sew-in in, that when they were using the needle and thread, and it was pulling my hair on the sides. And no disrespect to anybody, I don't want any of my beauticians to ever think that, it's personally to them, that I'm talking about this, but they had the braids really, really tight because I've had several different people to do it. So it's not like it's just one that I'm talking about, but the braiding would be a little tight. And at times I would have to take maybe some Tylenol in order for me to be able to sleep because my head was so tight. But they braided them so tight that the tension was wearing on my edges when they were putting it on, because the edges were already thin. And I never had thick edges. I never really had thick hair. First of all, my hair was long, but it wasn't super thick. But so the pull and the strain on the edges would be causing it to I guess, manipulate it and pull it out, And so I was like, and see, this is what I'm thinking. I don't know all and not be all of, hair and weaves and everything. But for my experience, it made my edges thinner. So I said, well, you know what? I'm taking matters into my own hands and I'm going to stop doing the sew in. And so now I, whenever I don't have a unit, they call this a unit or a wig. And I would take it off whenever I got ready, and I would be able to shampoo my own hair and condition it, and let my scalp breathe a little bit, and no tension on it at all. And I found that to be a better fit for me. So I started investing in wigs, and so the wigs, I like different colors. I like different lengths. I like different curl patterns. I like anything different. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's a good go, and then sometimes I'm like, I probably shouldn't have done that one. But the simple fix would be I could take it off. You know what I'm saying? So that's really my story now. Like, I don't have any edges. I have maybe a little bit of edge on the left side, but I am taking better care and more attention to my natural hair and conditioning it and feeding it some good hair, healthy hair food in my hair. And it has thickened a little bit in the middle and the top, just a little bit. But on the sides, it's a slow go. So when you see me, like if you on this particular podcast, but then you see me again on a different one or another one, and then I'll have a different one on, and I like it. I love it. That's my thing. And we're going back to the poll that was taken about whether guys like the weave or the wigs or natural hair. They all say natural, but some of them did say, you know, relaxed. So that's the key. That's not natural hair. That's not your natural curl pattern. And a guy, of course, they unless he's into hair or maybe be even a beautician, I don't know, they would know or could tell or to know that it's been chemically manipulated, so it's not natural hair, but it is her hair. It's just in a different, this was chemically manipulated. So I've had it all, and I've had boyfriends that didn't like the wigs, none of that. And I'm okay with a guy having a preference. I'm okay with that because I have preference too. But I guess I would want to challenge guys to be like a little bit more open minded, because some of the guys are like, well, if I, put my hand, run my fingers through her hair, I'm like, okay. And then you're talking about a black woman, right? Okay. And then they'll say, well, I don't want to put my fingers through and then pull, something out or off. And I thought, oh gosh, that's crazy. And then some of them thought, okay, well, they said rather that if if they, get their weaves done, they don't want anyone to touch their hair. Like they be playing around. If you're like, stop, I'm messing my hair, da da da. And I don't find that to be true with wigs and weaves because when I had my hair and it was being relaxed and I got a particular style, I wouldn't want anybody to touch my hair, period, because I paid for the style, and so the style is supposed to last, they say, at least 2 weeks. So a guy comes and wants to put his hands on my hair, and I'm like, because this is supposed to last me. I paid for this. So, but just to be like this, with the the curl, the wave pattern in this for this particular hair. I mean, he can take his fingers and run it through it if you'd like, but and it's on there. You know, I got him on, got it on pretty secure, so you can do that. And then, but as far as if I lay down, wake up, if we play and it kind of goes like this or something like that, that won't bother me at all. I guess I just want guys to be a little bit more open minded about, you know, everybody has a story, you know what I'm saying? And my story just happens to be that it's hereditary. I have cousins and aunts and a mom, a daughter, a sister, um, and they all partake in either the wigs or the weaves. And they pay someone to install it. For me, I'll just do it myself. It may not look like the beauty salon where they go and put this little big wave or curl or the exaggerated baby hairs. I don't do all of that. Okay, I just don't. That's just my preference. But I guess I don't want people to just, or guys in general, to judge us because we have or where we're wearing um hair that doesn't grow out of our scalp. Like, hey, give us a chance, man. I mean, we're not half bad people here. We're not trying to be someone that we're not. We're not trying to they always say be European because of the hair that we have, being more European, um, versus being African American. It's none of that. Like, I am very, very proud of my African American descent. I am very, very proud of that. And I don't mind, showing my hair if, in fact, I feel confident, if I feel as though, my edges are kind of to where they're not showing as much, or if I choose to wear my natural hair in its natural state out around people. I will do that if I so feel to, and if I'm confident in it, if I'm comfortable with it. I'll be confident in whatever I'm doing, but I definitely want to be comfortable when doing that. And so, yeah, um, that's pretty much my story. I just want to come on and share a little bit about that. And I think that's going to be my time for tonight. And maybe, you have a hair chronicle story, that you want to talk about something that, maybe it got over processed and, to let it grow back out or to, make it become healthy, trim the ends or whatever the case may be, and then put something a protective, because it's, to me, it's considered a protective style to preserve or protect your natural hair, your natural the beauty of the hair and everything. So don't think that I'm ashamed of being natural. It's not that. I just don't like for my scalp to be seen and it to show that I'm being bald, because to me, I guess maybe it was just the way that I was raised. As far as your appearance is concerned, I just didn't want my scalp to be showing that way. Now, I have seen women that are confident to wear their hair when, in fact, you can see the scalp and see the hair, the thinness of the hair, and that's perfectly fine. I will never shame anybody doing that. No, no, no. That's not what I'm here for, because I want to promote, encourage women to be their best self. And to be your best self, you have to do what makes you comfortable. And if you're comfortable doing that, I say rock it, sister, rock it. Okay? Because that's what I plan to do with mine. Now, again, the next time you see me on another video, it may look different. I may have a different unit, but um, refer back to this video. That way you'll be able to know and understand where I'm coming from or the reason I choose to wear them. And maybe it'll soften guys' hearts a little bit more, because, matter of fact, now the guys that are sort of young and they're balding early, they'll get their hair maybe like a little toupee thing, a hair piece, and put it up there and line it up, and they feel more confident. Well, I'm not judging them, and I wouldn't not date a guy because he had a hair piece. No, if that is what makes you feel good and you feel like your best self, do it. You're not hurting anybody. You're not shaming anybody else. You're not, putting anybody down. You're being you. So be yourself. Be your uniqueness of you. Okay. And that's what I plan to do as well. So thank you for joining me and see you on the next one.